We got a very special guest, Stella Chuu, with us.
Have you done any arcane, or you could say League of Legends cosplays?
Yeah, so most famously, Baby No Money, the rapper, approached me and asked if I could make him Jason Victor cosplays for him and his friend Will Neff. And nobody else could make Victor Jace in 9 days.
How'd you even get started in this?
Well, in cosplay in general, dude, I used to be like president of the anime club of like college and high school, so I've always been in it. But for cosplay, I didn't really start cosplaying until after I graduated college when I had like disposable income.
How is the difference now between like current day cosplay and like, how it was, were you saying back in like 2012 or when you first started?
So the costumes have gotten significantly better. Just because you can purchase your costume doesn't mean that there's like a stagnation in the quality of cosplay. In fact, the ceiling only gets higher.
Yo, 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 what is up? It's God's Will. We got Louis back, and we got a very special guest, Stella Chuu, with us. I am super excited to have you on. I've been interested in you, your life, like for a while, and honestly, I'm glad that we get to like hang out like as we do. Like it's really cool to see like what you've been up to like these days. It means a lot that you are spending time with us. I know you're like so busy, and I'm just like, hey, let's bring Stella and just shoot the shit with her. So thank you for joining us.
Have you guys heard of God's Will? God's Will's amazing. He's at
Who dat?
every anime party ever. He knows everybody. Everybody has nothing but amazing things to say about him. He's so cool and chill. And he's the biggest anime fan. You want him on your team all the time. Love this guy.
It means the world to hear that from you. Honestly, like, no, you're. Have you heard about Stella Chuu though?
No.
Have you heard about Stella Chuu? No,
No.
she, the star of the show. Honestly, every time she comes onto whatever, like whether she's in cosplay or not, she's killing it. And also, her for your cosplays, I can't stop thinking about the Delicious in Dungeon one. Actually, like that was crazy to see, and like the fact that you're able to ship it across the world and it was intact. That's
Dude, that was insane. That's probably one of the biggest costumes I ever made ever. And I made that in like 2 or 3 weeks in between deadlines. And
I don't know how
just
you do
needed
that. Like hearing your crunch times is nuts. I'm thinking like these things last for like 4-5 months.
Nah, man, I got that ADHD dog in me.
How did you two meet?
Yeah, like, wow. Like I remember this pretty well. Like my friend Kevbot, like he introduced us like back at like Acon, like in like 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I had actually like heard about you like already. Like I was like, wait a second, this legendary cosplayer, like you're just casually friends with her, and then yeah, and then from there, like we've done like quite a few cool things together. Like we've worked together, like with some Viz projects, and then also like even recently, like you got to come to like my holiday party and made me
That
look
was
really cool there.
so fucking random. All right, so here's the story. I'm in was it San Francisco
Yeah,
for work,
that was crazy.
and I had dinner with some friends who lived in San Francisco. Just like, hey guys, you want to go eat dinner? Cool. We pick a couple of different restaurants. We found one that we wanted to go to that was German. Never had German food in my entire
Me
life.
neither.
No idea what a schnitzel was.
Me
And then
neither.
I
Actually, I
show
thought it
up,
was bread.
I'm just walking through, and lo and behold, Godswill's sitting there with a bunch of other anime people I know. Like, what the
like,
fuck
wait.
are you doing here?
What do I was stunned, honestly. I was like, this is meant to be. And then it was just like, wait, what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah. You were like, oh, I have a holiday party. I'm like, can I come to your holiday party? I know that that's like, you guys are at work and whatever. You have to like be cool with your coworkers, but can I come infiltrate and get free food?
Oh, you made me look cool, honestly. I was just like, yeah, I'm bringing Stella Chu with me.
how did we rate the German food though, since it was your first time?
Ooh, that spot was
bad.
popping.
Yeah.
Not
It
bad.
was
Have
not
a
bad.
snitchel again. Like, so what through 10? Would you
Honestly,
rate it?
I kind of want the sausages instead. The schnitzel was good, but the sausages were where it was at. I
Yes.
missed out on the bratwursts.
And then did you
They were
also
good.
try like the beers they had? Like they had like a banana beer.
No, because I'm like the world's sensitive little bean to beer or
Oh,
just alcohol.
yeah, alcohol. Yeah.
So unless other people are drinking alcohol at the table, like I'm not gonna get my own glass because I can only handle like a thimble,
Yeah,
no matter
honestly,
what.
that's for the best. Alcohol is poison, anyways. You don't need it in your world. And look at you drinking water. Good on you.
That's
Agreed.
right. Hydrate.
Hydrate,
Have you
y'all.
seen what's on my bottle?
Oh boy, I was actually about to start that
Kaneki.
up. Okay, okay. Wait,
Yeah, no,
wait.
these are all BL boys. Every
Oh,
single
never
one
I
of
was
mind.
like, wait a
these boys
second.
on here are gay.
Oh man, I got my own. I was gonna definitely talk to you about Arcane, Victor, and all that. Like I've just been like honestly, that's been giving me life. And I was
Are
like,
we
you know,
about to activate my unskippable cutscene?
let's run it. Like this is what I was like. I gotta talk to. If I'm talking to you, I'm talking about everything that I can't think of. So
I care so much about JayVik, like so much about JayVik, like so much about JayVik, like so much about JayVik,
yeah, I was thinking
like
about like even nails too,
Whoa.
right? Yeah.
like so much about JayVik.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
there's my whole table
The
right
stuff that you
now.
can even grab, like I'm really impressed actually. I don't have like things I can grab One Piece wise like on my desk.
Yeah, I feel normal about them. Just I'm a normal person about
Tell
them.
me about run it by me. Or like, what emotions does JayVik bring out of you?
Oh my God. Okay,
And
so for
also, is it
everyone
like them individually or just them together for sure?
together, it has to
Okay.
be together. But
Okay.
separately, it's fine, but
Yeah.
mostly together. Dude, JayVik for me came out of nowhere. Because in season one of Arcane, there was like no inkling of these two guys maybe being any kind of romantic relationship. And then the writers were like, well, let's
Running
just
it.
go big or go home.
Yup.
And
Oh
so
my
For
god.
those
now,
who haven't watched Arcane, who's JayVik? Is that the name of the ship?
Yeah.
yes. It's so there's a character named Jace, and he's a very muscular Latina. I call him a Latina.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I was like, I guess he's the Latino,
Yeah,
right?
he is the Latino of the relationship. And he's a golden retriever.
Yes. Carries a
And then
big
we have
hammer.
Victor, the Czech boy. Which he has a Czech accent. He's just like the Eastern European, sickly. He looks like a Victorian, like sickly child.
1700s frail
Yeah,
boy that's been kept from
Wow.
the elements.
his like thighs are the size of Jace's forearm. His thighs are so small.
Now I'm
So yeah,
thinking
that's
about
the
it. Oh
pairing.
god. Uh,
That's the pairing. You have to watch the whole show.
you got to.
Dude,
Gotcha.
I can't even like give you a summary about how wonderful and complex their relationship is. They're lab partners, and like
Experiments with
they've
each
worked
other.
together for like almost a decade, like doing magic together, like science magic. And every opportunity that Jace gets, he says, "My partner, you're my partner, Victor. He's my partner. This is my partner, Victor." And it ends in tragedy. That's actually what makes it so good, is that it ends in like the saddest possible way.
Although it was beautiful, like how it ended, right? Like it was just like, dang, like I mean, I like
Do we
that.
really
I
want to
digress.
spoil it for you? I feel like you should watch it.
Have you seen it, Louis? Have you seen?
I was
Arcane?
gonna say hold off on the spoilers. I actually
Okay.
haven't finished it up quite yet. Have you done any? Well, I assume you have like Arcane, or you could say League of Legends cosplays.
Yeah,
Stella.
so most famously, because when I say most famously, this is like the most viral thing that's ever happened in my life. Bbno Money, the rapper, the Armenian white Canadian rapper, approached me and asked if I could make him Jason Victor cosplays for him and his friend Will Neff.
That's how that started. Okay.
Yeah. Well, in fact, how it started was he asked his friends, who then asked, who like then was, he was basically like, do you know anyone who can make this for me? And they're all
One of
like,
the best
well,
people.
I think Stella Chuu can. And so then he asked like me, and I was like, oh, I like, this is how I can make it. And he's like, okay, let me just like triple check real quick. So he then asked every single other person out there if there's anyone else who can make it. And
Jeez.
nobody else could make Victor Jace in 9 days. And so by the time that I started the project, it was 7 days. And so I started the project on day 7, right? But he wanted to be Victor. Who was going to be Jace? Didn't know. So by the time the 5th day came around, was then they finally figured out who Jace was going to be. So then I only had 5 days to make 2 costumes.
Golly.
And it was the most like insane, fastest build. I had to call in as many people as I knew here in LA to help me throw this together. Like, and I couldn't even say it was thrown together. It was made with the best possible techniques that we could come up with. Yeah,
it looked dope. I'm about to put some pictures of it like when we do the finished thing, but like it looked amazing. I thought you had like months on this, honestly. Like, oh, they hit you up.
What did the crunch time look like? Are we talking like 16-hour days, like with like 10 people, or how many people?
It was at the most we had, it was about 6 people on like the last day. So I have my assistant. Then I had my assistant ask their friend who actually works at Universal and does all of the zombie like costumes, had them come over. And then I had a friend who was visiting from New Zealand on vacation, but he is an amazing prop maker from New Zealand. And I was like, you know, it'd be so great for you to do on your tourist visa to America.
Work.
Is to work for me. And then I also had my friend Danielle De Nicola, who shares my warehouse with me. I had her started making stuff, and then her roommate, Witchy Brew, work on wigs. And I want to say there was like a couple of more people that I called in, but I like off the top of my head I can't remember anymore because it was like such a fever dream. On day 7, I think I had one of my friends come over and sand props for me, because the other reason why I'm the only person who can have made this so fast is because I have 5 3D printers, and it's the fastest type of 3D printer, and I don't know anyone in LA that has 5 3D printers like this. Wow. So I was like printing like it was like my life depended on it, which technically it did.
Sounded it like.
So by the like 7th day, I was able to like start sanding prints and stuff. So that was kind of crazy. Yeah, and we were working right up to like 2 a.m. and 9 a.m. was like the beginning of the next day for the photo shoot and stuff. And the reason why this was like the most viral thing I've ever done is because the boys live streamed this on their channels, and that was the smartest thing they could have done. They could have just done like a regular photo shoot, maybe they took some TikToks or whatever, and it would have been like, oh cool, yeah, there's like some cosplay happening. No, these boys were so fucking smart that they had live streamed this whole thing and took requests from chat and took requests from me and my friends. So it just so happens that me, my assistant, and Jessica Negri, who was invited to join us on the stream, are 3 of the biggest JayVik fans on the fucking planet. Like, we are incredibly feral about JayVik. Like,
that must have been an unhinged stream right there.
You think these nails are unique, like a one-time thing? No, this is the 3rd set of arcane nails that I've done. So I had arcane nails even before, like during the stream, and I was showing people, I'm like, I'm very uniquely qualified for this. I'm obsessed.
God. Yes, you're with it.
Yeah, and we all of us wore like shirts that were themed after. Like, Louis, you're not gonna get this, but God's will, my shirt says glorious ovulation, and it had pictures of Victor all over it.
Oh my God.
All of us were wearing this shirt. Oh man, can't wait for you to figure what the fuck that means.
I'll get back to you on that.
You guys, if anyone, yeah, you guys deserve this, honestly. My God.
So we were like, we have to recreate every single meme, every single piece of fan art that like people wanted, because the story ends in tragedy. So there's so much fan art of like a happy ending. So we made them do every single piece of fan art. We filmed so many different videos of like the happy ending. And the thing is, what really, really worked was that Bbno Money and Will Neff are the gayest straight men I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I would be like, yo, kiss, and they'll be like, how high? You know?
Forehead, mouth to mouth.
Like,
cheeks.
They were so into it. It was insane. Like they are gayer than a bisexual girl dating a golden retriever gamer boyfriend, right? Like, they were just fucking into it. I was just standing there, you know, I'd be like, and 3, 2, 1, action, and they just start making out, and I'm just standing there being like, okay.
My dreams are coming true.
It was insane, dude. It was insane. Like as a JayVik fan, I was like, I was not living in my own body.
Was that the payment right there? It's just like, we'll do whatever you want, as long as you dress us up.
Oh my God. Like, all of my fan fiction, it was like so healing because I was in so much pain from the story itself.
I was also about to ask, like, did you get any sleep like before you did that live stream, or like was it just like straight to it?
Yeah, so the thing I don't compromise on is sleep.
Good.
For all of my projects, for anything I do, I don't compromise sleep because I'm not a young bean anymore, okay? When I don't get sleep, you see it. It is very apparent. So I make sure I get like 8 hours of sleep every night.
Good on you, though. I too many people still sacrifice all that. I mean, me too, honestly.
Get 8 hours of sleep. You cannot take like delete age lines off of yourself. You want to keep that youth. So sleep is like so important. That's my cheat code.
I'm gonna make you proud, honestly. So I guess let's also start like at the beginning too, because like definitely I like have like hella questions like as we keep going through this. But like, how'd you even get started in this?
Well, in cosplay in general, dude, I used to be like president of the anime club of like college and high school, so I've always been in it. But for cosplay, I didn't really start cosplaying until after I graduated college when I had like disposable income.
Oh, that part, yeah.
Because back in the day, you couldn't just like start cosplaying. You had to make your own costumes. There was like no such thing as buying costumes online.
At all.
What was the first cosplay?
At this point, I don't even know which one was my first one anymore because I had started so early. Like in high school, I remember dressing up as Sakura from Naruto.
Wow.
But like that, I don't even know if that even counts
like the first
towards
official one, I guess, right?
Yeah, because like in college, like I cosplayed. Do you guys remember Sucker Punch?
Yes, the movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like a really good movie, but then like it just didn't get like the big
Yeah.
acclaim. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was like
Nothing
it was
gets pushed.
yeah, it was visually so pretty. So me and my friends like dressed up from it.
Oh, that's dope.
And that was like also before I started like officially cosplay. So like I honestly couldn't tell you what the beginning of my cosplay career was. Cause even when I was really young, like 12 years old, I remember dressing up as Draco Malfoy for the Harry Potter book release at midnight.
Wow,
And
you were really with it.
so like, but I wasn't wearing robes. I was wearing a shirt that I had hand drawn the logo of Harry Potter onto with the logo of the book that I had released. So it was a handmade like fan costume, you know, the same way like people wear costumes to sport events. That's what it looked like.
Man, and that's before the movies came out too, right?
I think this was like literally right after like the first film or something
Okay.
like that.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like this is ancient times. So I've always kind of been in it. Yeah, I've always been in it, but like how I got started doing like content creation cosplay was like when I graduated college and I saw people like Yaya Han, Vampy Bit Me, and Jessica Negri. I think Jessica Negri started like 2 years before I did because she started in 2009 and I started in 2011. And I had seen like all of this potential for what the future could look like for cosplay, where you know, you could get accolades, you could travel around the world, and you could just continuously cosplay. There was no just one-time deal. This is like a thing that you could just constantly do, and I decided that that's what I was gonna do.
That's so dope. And I mean, here you are now with like a whole warehouse, like cranking it out. Although,
Yeah.
you know, I really like until I saw like a picture of like I think Jessica Negri like getting you like coffees, and I was like saying like for crunch time, and I
Yeah.
really thought like you had like a lot more lead time, and like it was just like, oh, you know, like this is more chill, and it was like, oh, it sort of took my understanding of like what you did like way different than what I expected.
Yeah, and then right after the JayVik project, he was like, "Yo, what's the next one?" And I'm like, what do you mean, what's the next one? Do we just finish this one?"
Right.
And he wanted something else that was like a good idea, a viral idea. So we chose Hatsune Miku. And he put out a poll online, gave like fans like a list of 4 different costumes, and Hatsune Miku just like swept. It was like 45% of audience wanted Hatsune Miku. So I think I had about 5 days to make that costume. Yeah.
Jeez.
And I wanted to make it from scratch because Hatsune Miku is so widely available. You can buy it anywhere online. But I was like, man,
Challenge yourself. Why
yeah,
not?
like if I wanted to stand out, I don't want him to look like he just, threw on something from Amazon. That didn't feel authentic. So I decided to give him boobs. I had him do drag because I wanted it to stand out. And I thought that was like a really good design decision because also it's not like he's not a stranger to cross dressing. He did a music video 4 years ago, completely in drag, like full on real drag. He looked so good, and I'm like, okay, if you're comfortable doing that, then I'm going to put you in a Hatsune Miku costume because I'm very big on like what people are comfortable with, and how crazy they want to get. And he was just like, no, let's fucking go. So that was a wildly successful project as well. Hatsune Miku has always been relevant, but right after he started announcing that he was doing Hatsune Miku, and then he did the Hatsune Miku for like that entire 2 weeks, all I saw was Hatsune Miku cosplays on my feed. So he was like influencing a lot of people, because from JayVik, a bunch of people just saw what he like started paying attention to him,
Yes.
and then they knew that if they cosplay what he was cosplaying, they could like ride that trend train, which is also helping him out. And it's like a huge
Yeah,
like
it definitely feeds into each
circle
other.
thing. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really works together.
And speaking of Baby No Money, am I saying that right? I feel like I'm one of the people who messes
I thought
it
it
up
was
sometimes.
BBNO, like the whole or
Everyone
dollar
calls
sign.
him BB nose. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right.
baby no money.
Babe,
Yeah.
I've
what's up
seen
with the Sonic cosplays?
So that was the other costume on the list of options that we had pitched him. And so after Hatsune Miku's done, he was like, what's next? I'm like, you absolutely have to do Sonic. Like that is perfect. It's in your wheelhouse. And it's also owned by Sega. So Hatsune Miku is like a perfect thing to like from Hatsune Miku, you go to Sonic, it's perfect. And so yeah, he was like, bet. But then he said, okay, can we do it in Tampa, Florida with Moist Critical? And I'm
That
like,
shocked me.
what do you mean? Fly to Florida to put on a fucking costume? Are you serious? He's like, okay, can you also make another one for Young Gravy? And I was like, what do you mean? 3 costumes and fly to Florida. And
Oh
then
man.
Jessica was coming as well because now, it's a theme. Jessica Negri always joins us. Iron Mouse also always joins us on stream now. And Jessica was like, oh, I'll make Rouge. And I'm like, okay, you're going to make Rouge. So what the fuck am I going to do? Am I going to stand on the side and not fucking cosplay? No. So I made myself Knuckles.
Let's go.
Is that your favorite character from Sonic?
I like Shadow the most,
Okay, good
but Moist Critical was Shadow.
That whole like I saw the dance video you guys put out, and also even like Iron Mouse. Like I guess like is that like Iron Mouse's like assistant or like real?
It's her you know like from like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's like that boss that has the guy in the center
In the
of
stomach?
the chest,
Yeah.
and then the guy who pilots. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's basically what's
The
happening.
pilot. Okay, so that's just
So
the pilot. Okay.
The pilot is sometimes a different person, but it's still the same concept. There's a monster in the center of the chest, and the guy who hosts it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How long did it take to make that whole set for everybody?
I was only able to dedicate 4 days to the entire set of costumes because I also had Katsucon and a ski trip that I go to every single year.
Oh wow.
I, in fact, had to leave both Katsucon and the ski trip 1 day early so that I could get this costume done. These costumes, 4 costumes done.
God. Back
Yeah.
to back. I mean, I was gonna ask like, how do you have energy for everything? But at least sleep is part of it, which is great.
The power of ADHD. I'm just going to say that right now. If you don't have ADHD, I don't think you're capable of doing what I do. So get on it.
Time
Go,
to
go get
turn
diagnosed.
off the ADHD. I mean, I feel like I'm undiagnosed in a way, honestly. That's amazing. Wow. And
Yeah.
then like, how was that like that shoot? How was Most Critical and like how was it
So
working with
fun.
Iron Mouse and that whole squad of them?
Dude, that day was insane. So they hired 3 makeup artists to put on the makeup for all 3 boys. And then since I was dressing myself as well, it was like a whole thing. We worked out of Moist Critical's warehouse. Like he has his own huge ass studio space. And also that night here, hold on, my cat.
Hello, cat.
Oolong wants to be the main character.
It's my time.
That night, Baby No Money wanted to perform on stage in costume.
Oh wow, in
So-
cosplay too.
We started, like at 11 a.m. We did everything until about 3 o'clock, and then he had to go to do sound check. So it was a very insane, fast-paced day. We wanted to do a location shoot. You know, there was like a racetrack about 8 minutes away, but we had to cancel doing that because there's just no time. Everything was just so rushed, and wrangling not just the three boys, but also the entire team. Like it was like about a dozen people who were involved in everything because there's the makeup artists, there was the other streamers like Jessica, Iron Mouse, and then there was also two representatives from Sega who had joined in and brought a bunch of like cool merch and stuff to like celebrate with us. And it was funny because I thought Sega was going to be there to keep us on brand and not like do anything crazy. But the whole time I'd look at them and be like, is this okay? And they're like, yeah, totally. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, okay.
That's when you know you made it for real.
Yeah, they were like super chill with any kind of like random ass jokes that we were making or any kind of just I don't know. They were totally fine. Like they were like, yeah, this is you guys do whatever you want.
That's so sick, honestly. I'm always worried with licensors. I mean, you know how that goes.
With anime especially, yeah.
Yep.
Well, what was great about Hatsune Miku as well is that we had a representative from Good Smile to join us, and yeah, they were just like, yeah, cool, chill, whatever.
Wow.
Like they weren't policing us or anything.
This isn't according to the models, and this isn't da 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 da. That's really great. That's
Yeah.
how you know you made it.
Luckily, I guess there's a lot of leeway when it comes to musicians and creative license. Yeah.
So sick, honestly. I from that moment I was like, I just gotta like ask you like how this is done, and I mean this is so cool to hear like the behind the scenes with all this.
Yeah, a lot happens for sure. And it's been really validating to see that like whatever ideas I come up with like works. You know, it's been working and like even after the streams are done, the fans are still so feral. They care so much. The amount of fan art that I've seen of all of these costumes and of Baby No Money has been insane. I've never seen any fandoms explode this much. Like with the JayVik stream, within the first day, there was already 30 pieces of fan art. And within the week, there was hundreds of pieces of fan art. And there was animations, like full-blown animations.
Wow.
It was crazy. And now when you look up like the Sonic one, there's a ton of Sonic animations with the three boys now too. It's crazy. People are fast.
Actually had no clue like that the fandom was so huge for these guys, but I mean I guess it makes sense, and they're doing it right. Where like I had no clue about them, and all of a sudden now I'm like, oh, I guess I'm a fan.
You know what really does work? It is honestly Baby No Money. He like celebrates every piece of fan art, every kind of animation. He comments on people's videos. He follows people back who are like content creators within the space. Like he follows all of these JayVik artists, like Sonic artists. Like he gives back to the community. Like he himself is a fan. It's crazy to see because like a lot of people are saying like, oh, this is like a publicity stunt, and I'm like, at what point is this a stunt, and at what point is this like a life change, like a brain chemistry change?
Brain chemistry change.
He spends so many hours of his day replying to random videos in random sections of TikTok. I'll just be scrolling and I'll get this video served to me that has like the tiniest little bit of Baby No Money's like mention in it, and he'll just be in the comment section saying "What's up?"
Wow.
I'm like, this guy like actually wants people to know that he cares, you know?
That's beautiful.
And he's goofy and stuff. Like I know I'm like gassing him up and like talking about Baby No Money and not talking about myself, but it's just been crazy to see. I've never seen anyone approach their fame, their fans in this way ever.
But I'm glad that that you are gassing him up in like in a genuine way too. Like because also I trust you as a genuine person. Like like I see how you wear your fandom on a sleeve and your love. I mean, literally on your hands. And like to hear that, like I always worry a little low key like about like content creators. Like how real are they? Like are they doing this as a stunt, or are they doing this just to like get like a new group that can like show love or whatever, but to hear that, like I'm a community manager and I'm not even that extensive,
Dude, if you take a deep dive, like just go on every single one of Baby No Money's socials and just do a deep dive on there for like the last 2 months or 3 months now, because January is when this all started. you could write a dissertation. Like I'm not joking. It's insane. The amount you could learn about how to properly grow a community and give them their own agency and trust them. Like it's pretty insane. Like I've learned a lot through this. I've learned how people connect with this fucking Canadian boy, right? Like they've created their own lore within his realm, and it's just so surprising to me. I've never seen it happen. And also a lot of his fans are like female or like AFAB people, which I'm so surprised by, because usually I just see like VTubers, for example, are all male audience and stuff. So I'm kind of used to that. The cosplayers is mainly male audience, but with Bbno Money, it's just a mostly female AFAB audience. It's kind of insane. I actually saw this really amazing video of this trans man who said, "Yo, I don't know why this is a stereotype, but for some reason, all trans men, Bbno Money is just our mascot now. What the fuck?" And I'm sitting there being like, "You're right."
Okay.
Wow.
This is crucial. I mean, because I've also been
that
wondering where
in.
they've been, so this is good to know. I'm like, where do they be at? Because also, even all the people like I get for like influencer stuff or whatever, always male audiences. I'm just like, dang, I'm not helping.
Yeah, Stella, I had a question. Going back to KatsuCon, how is the difference now between like current day cosplay and like, how it was, were you saying back in like 2012 or when you first started?
So the costumes have gotten significantly better. Just because you can purchase your costume doesn't mean that there's like a stagnation in the quality of cosplay. In fact, the ceiling only gets higher. And I cannot catch up. Jesus fucking Christ, people are so talented. There was legitimately things that I saw there that blew my mind. And for example, I watched a guy, he cosplayed as Todoroki's dad. What's his name?
Endeavor.
Endeavor. Yeah, I keep thinking Indenium, but that's the engine boy. Endeavor. And from 10 feet away, I legitimately was like, is he wearing crystal fire all over his body? Like, how is that working? What the fuck? Wow. So I go up to him and I realize that he's covered in like bits of red and orange and yellow cellophane that he had like molded to look like flames. And he had made like a beard and a mustache, and his hair and all over his body was covered in strips of LED and like more flames. And I just couldn't stop staring at him. I was like, oh my God, you look amazing. Please tell me about your costume. He just like talk to me, like over explain. I'm totally okay with that, because it was just so dazzling to me how he did it. The fact that it was lightweight, it was wearable, it wasn't overheating. Like that stuff like that blows my mind. Like that's what impresses me. You can make something that looks really cool, but if it's wearable, that's like the other thing. That's like another level of problem solving. So yeah. And then like even today, I just saw, do you know like slime in like Dungeons and Dragons or like any kind of like monster animes?
Like Dragon Quest type of deal, right?
Yeah, but like a girl version of it, right? Like a personification of a slime. So my friend had made herself this like slime wig that looked completely drippy, and I looked at it and I'm like, where did you buy this? And she's like, I made it. I'm like, how? It looks so good. It looked manufactured. It looked like this belonged in one of those really expensive like hype beast drops. Like it looked so good. So yeah, people do be insane these days. And I don't know if you've like seen how wigs are made now. Bro, wigs are crazy now. Something happened during the pandemic and everyone learned how to make the most beautiful 3-dimensional, perfect anime looking wigs I've ever seen in my life. Those things don't move. They're just like, they don't look like real hair, but that's fine. They look perfectly anime, and it looks exactly like the character, exactly how I imagined it. It just blows my mind every single time. So they keep moving the bar higher, man. It's not fair.
Cool.
Are there any like cardinal sins in like the cosplay scene? Because you've been gassing it up. I'm just wondering, is there any like bad stuff?
trying to think of really bad stuff, dude. When a wig falls off your head as you're wearing it, and it's like that's a canon event. That happens to absolutely everybody. When they don't know you're supposed to wear a wig cap underneath, they don't know how to secure it to their head. And you wouldn't walk around outside like this on a normal day. Why are you okay with walking around with a wig just slowly slipping back on your head? I can see your entire hairline. That's, to me, that's like your friend is not doing you any services like that. Your friend should
People
be
should look
like,
out for
girl, let's go to the bathroom. Let's like find some bobby pins. Let's pin that in, right? So that to me is less a cardinal sin and more like a, yeah, it happens to everyone. It's gonna happen to you. It's gonna happen to you no matter what you do.
Oh man.
I'm trying to think of other cardinal sins. Hold on, I actually found the video. I'm trying to. Okay, so remember what I just said about the girl with the crazy wig? Let me see if I can show it to you
I'm about
without.
to say, like, do you have, or could you send me that later on? You know, like if not right now, but like
I will. Okay, I'm gonna
curious for
send it.
myself.
I'm gonna send it to you, God's will.
Yes.
The only thing is, as long as it's safe for work enough,
Yeah. At least
because she is in a bikini.
okay.
Wait,
I
no,
mean,
look at your phone right now.
yeah,
Look at your phone
okay.
right now.
All right, looking at my phone.
We're doing this live.
Yeah, we're doing
the
this live. It blew my mind.
I'm hyped.
This shit blew my mind.
Oh wow! Oh yes, yes. Okay, I know exactly. Whew. Yeah, she absolutely murdered it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll show it like when we do the full edit. But like
We'll plug it up.
I saw it and I was like,
Dude, I don't know how the fuck she made that.
like
It's
just
so
all
shiny.
the whole body paint thing. Yeah, like it's everything about it. Yes,
That-
100%.
That fucking wig is I'm gonna be obsessed. It's gonna be my Moby Dick. I'm obsessed with it right now. I legit need to know how she made it because
I'm
it's
hyped
so
for you.
well made.
I'm hyped. And also, it's just beautiful to hear you geek out about it, like genuinely so. You know, like I think a fear is like, you know, someone who's been doing it for like a while is like they're just tired and it's just like it's just a job, you know.
Nah, bro. I love cosplay so much, and every time I see a cosplayer in the wild, I like stare. I like stare and I'm like smiling. I'm like, oh my god, look at them. Oh my god, they're so cute. You know, like I don't even go up to them and be like, can I get a picture of you or like can I take a picture with you? No, I just let them be. I let the animals be in the wild, you know, in their natural habitat. I'm not trying to disturb nature. Right? I
Let
just want them to
feel
have a
the
good
aura
time.
of just like someone's looking at me very intensely. And I
Yeah, they see
appreciate
me
it.
from across the way going like this.
I love that though. You know, like it's a genuine love, and like I think like we need to have more of that. You know, rather than just we do it for the clicks all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I got into this because I love cosplay. I love seeing cosplayers, and I don't think I'll ever stop caring about it because seeing people who are passionate about what they love, and cosplay is, in my opinion, like one of the purest form of fandom because you love something so much you want to become it. You know, anyone can be a collector, right? You can it's just you purchase something, you find something, you put it on your shelf, you can collect. But as a cosplayer, you're putting yourself out there. You're putting on something that could potentially be cringy, embarrassing, uncomfortable, revealing, and you're going out in public and being just a vulnerable person. And that takes so many layers of courage and getting past like self-doubt, getting past shyness, unlearning things that you might have heard your entire life, especially from like the older generation of anime fans. Like we've always been told like you're fucking weird, right? You love Japanese
that the truth?
cartoons,
Yeah.
right? So to see someone come out of their shell and find like the purest sense of joy in a safe space like an anime con, like I love that. Like I'm seeing somebody in their truest form.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, that was
and
inspirational.
Also, I just think also it's hard to be in cosplay, like physically, so right? I don't know how you guys do it.
Dude, like you don't get to go to the bathroom for like 8 hours, man.
Like, yeah, do you even get to move? Like, I feel like if you go out in the cosplay, like you're just sort of stuck out there.
Yeah, you're stuck. You're in the most uncomfortable shoes because you ain't going to spend $100 on some shoes. You're going to spend $30 on shoes, right? Maybe $20. You're gonna be like, you know, in armor and your arms gonna be stuck out weird, and there's like some kind, you like back in the day you might have even super glued something to your skin because you didn't know how to fucking get it on there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude, like there's so much stupid stuff. You know, cosplay's come a long way. I remember someone telling me that they hot glued something to their face. Like
I have duct taped. I did one time. I was cyborg, and I duct taped half my face. I went bald actually, and I duct taped like my whole scalp. Yes,
See what I'm talking about?
that's
That's
true.
right. And it's the dedication, by any means necessary to become the character and feel like the character.
Wow, that's
Definitely.
beautiful.
What advice though, Stella, would you give your past self like that's just getting started?
Well, I feel like I did a lot of things really right. Looking back, there's not too
I was just
much
perfect.
I
No
would
biggie.
change. It's not just that because like I guess it's kind of like now that I have so many years under my belt, I realize that I'm so glad and grateful for where I've come to. And if I changed anything about it, I might not have gotten the same things that I have now. Like everyone wants to become famous faster and sooner and richer and all that kind of stuff, but something about the pacing in which I did it, and I'm gonna be the first to admit this, like it took me a very long time to get to where I am. 15 years of being an overnight success, right? Like when Chapel Rowan became an overnight success after performing for 10 years, like I understood exactly what that felt like. I was hustling for so long, and doing that kind of put a lot of things into perspective that I didn't realize were beneficial to me until now. I have this sense of dedication to my craft, but like this sense of community, like I want to be a part of a community. I'm not just here to like stroke my own ego. I'm here to like raise everyone else around me and make people around me happy, because as soon as I get into this idea of like me, then that's what kills a job. Like that's what kills you, and you become siloed, right? So I wouldn't have wanted to become more successful faster, and I wouldn't have wanted to do things better sooner, because there's like a certain level of like isolation that could happen with that, that I've seen that happen with other people, where like they were so good at cosplay for so early, so long, and then people were like always went to them, they're like, you're the best in the best, and that kind of energy separates you from other people. They don't want to intrude on your space. They feel like, oh my gosh, like they're way too good, let's not invite them, we're bothering them, right? Like I never want that to happen to me. I want people to be like, yo, she's a riot, let's invite her to the party. Like let's fucking go.
Like
And
have genuine friends along the way, like as you rise up, rather than just like they sort of deify you in a way, I guess, right?
yeah, it's like the deifying thing that I definitely don't want. And I know that it's very easy to do that in fandoms. We already worship the things we love, and it's so easy to default to that mindset, to turn somebody into not a human. And I don't ever want that for myself. Yeah, like I'm here for a long time. I'm not here for a short time. I want to be here for like the next like 10 years at least. And if I was deified, then it would, I don't know. That would make me feel weird.
But Stella, I worship you.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
I guess I'll go now. The goddess has spoken. But I mean, I love that though. It's like I think that's it right there. Like too many people really do want to go be famous really quick, but don't realize like what that entails. And yeah, also I didn't know that for Chappell Roan. I thought she like just did like a few songs and got famous like really quick.
Nah, man, she is like an indie queen from like for 10 years. I didn't know about her at all. And then yeah, after she became super famous, I saw a couple of like TikToks about where she came from, and I'm like, damn, she came from very humble origins. Like she's been trying to hustle for so long, and then suddenly this generation woke up and was like, no, we love you.
She's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Actually, I'm not her audience, but at the same time, I'm happy for her, and I like what she stands for. I like what you stand for too.
Oh, thanks.
So I guess you favorite question. What's your favorite cosplay you've ever done?
So I did a KDA Ari cosplay. Right when like KDA came out, pretty much. Like I think it was like 3 or 4 months after KDA came out. I was like, okay, I have to make the KDA Ari tails, and I have this image in my head about how it would look. And I can't really actually take credit for the way that the tails like came to be. I saw somebody do something kind of similar in Argentina. And I was like, oh, it's like a clear plastic with like lights inside. I wonder how they did that. And then I just experimented with some materials and figured it out. And I made it in a way that was so accessible and so easy to do. And not just like easy to make, but also easy to travel with because so like KD Ari tails, they're like crystal tails, right? And at the inside's hollow, they're just shells. So what I would do is I would turn them each into banana peels, and then you just fold them up and put them in your luggage. So in fact, your tails fold into like a folder, you know, and you could just shove them in your luggage, and then at the con you put it together. It'll take you a really long time to put it together, like if you wanted to do 9 tails, it'll take you like 4 hours to put together.
Wow.
And it'll
Dang.
take up your entire hotel room, honestly, because they're so big. But because it was accessible, and I put out a tutorial on how to do it, the pattern blew up online, and I just saw people wearing my tails all over the country, like all over the world, everywhere in the world. I saw so many people make these tails and walk around with them. They were affordable, they were lightweight, they were easy to travel with, they were easy to make. And I don't know how the fuck I managed to do that, but I'm really, really proud of that costume.
That's sick. I mean, yeah, I was like, how does that feel to have like something that you helped design, like, or like really like
Kind of
like almost trademark,
invent?
like
Yeah. I haven't been able to do anything like that since. Yeah, I think like lightning only struck once for me on that.
Oh, dude, I mean, you've been killing it for sure. Though that was a sick cosplay. I do remember seeing that like pop up.
Yeah, it's also the cosplay that kind of broke my body. So my lower back is all messed up now.
Oh,
Because I was 20 pounds on my lower back, and I wore it for like 8 hours the first time I wore it.
sheesh.
So I got
Sounds like
some,
you gotta
I
do
got
some
some lower
training
back
for
issues.
cosplays at this point.
Yeah, guys, go do deadlifts before you do anything like that, because
Like, I'm just
you're
gonna
gonna
do
need
it.
it.
Dang.
Yeah.
So do you exercise quite often as like a cosplayer? I feel like that's pretty right. That's standard for us.
Yeah, so I've been on and off for a couple of years. There was like a stint right before the pandemic in which I was working out like twice a week with a group of friends, and it was so fun because we go to the gym and like talk about manga, but like yaoi manga.
I was like, what type of manga?
My motivation, do it for him.
Do it for him.
So, but then the pandemic happened, and then I worked out a little bit at home, which was really good. But then, like afterwards, I kind of fell off for a little bit.
I was
Recently,
about to say, do you have time to work out?
I know, right? So recently, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of sick and tired of not feeling fit, and I'm starting to develop like a really severe slouch from like being a gamer, being a crafter, and no matter how much you sit up, that slouch is always going to be there. The only way to counteract it is to work out. And also, I was going through like, I don't know, like old people body pains, and the only way to counteract it is to work out. Like, no amount of
Stretch.
massage, no amount of like fancy mattress is gonna fix it. So I finally got a personal trainer, and I've been working out, and I love the results I've been getting. Holy shit, dude.
I see when you start stretching, I'm like, okay, girl, look at you.
Bro,
Okay.
Ready? I'm so proud of this. So like
Show the
my
guns.
normal arm just looks normal, right? But
Yeah, looks good.
Ooh.
I
like
didn't know they allowed guns in LA.
I'm so
Straight
proud,
band.
bro. Like I just want a sleeper build so bad. Like just suddenly like
Just
bam.
all of a sudden. It was like that one anime, like where long time ago. You remember that Attack on Titan creator? Like they did like Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, and then like that girl, she just pulls back her sleeves, and all of a sudden,
She didn't have to take off her jacket, but she did it for us.
bless. And honestly, I'll never forgot that moment. I was like, "What is this anime?" But that moment has never left me. And you're doing it
know.
for us.
God,
Bless
it's so
you.
good. So good. Yeah.
So is there
for
a cheat
sure.
meal you throw in every once in a while?
Oh, I eat whatever I want. It's the personal trainer who like just whacks me into shape. So
Hey, I mean, that's why I work out, so I can eat what I want when I want.
yeah, I mean, I could be a little stricter on my diet, but I like being happy, you know?
Hey, if you're gonna torture yourself with making stuff like this, you gotta find happiness where you can, right?
Yeah. Actually, right before this podcast, I went out with my friend for dim sum, and I ate so much that I put myself in a food coma, and I had to take a nap before I came here to
Bless,
the podcast.
bless. No, I'm glad, because you got good energy. I wouldn't have guessed that you're
Yo,
like in
I'm-
food coma stasis.
I'm so glad I took that nap. I would have been so dead right now if it wasn't for it.
Bless, like seriously, like, and also I need to go have some dim sum later on. That's
Dude.
a great idea.
Come over. Come over.
I'm gonna take you up on it.
Yeah.
I also like I'll never forget also like when we first like started hanging out, like you took me to like a chicken skewer or like a Chinese skewer spot. And that spot was popping. I've been wanting to go find that spot. Popping.
Dude, I'm not going to tell anyone the name of this place, but I would just want you to imagine a parking lot with a wedding tent over it and chairs
Plastic
and
chairs.
tables from Home Depot. They recently upgraded and put tablecloths on everything. Oh,
Whoa.
yeah. And
Bougie now. Okay.
then the best fucking skewers you've ever had in your life.
Popping. And cheap.
God, so cheap. So good.
I was like, this is a gold mine right here. I was like, I gotta hang out with her some more.
You guys got to slide that over. You can't gatekeep it.
Perhaps. No, you're cool, Louie. I got you.
I love food. I'm a big foodie, dude. I will never love the restaurants that, you know, the waiter comes up to you and says, "Hello, my name is Andy, and I'm gonna be your server tonight. Can I get you guys started?" No. My favorite restaurants are when the waiter grunts at you to go sit over there, and you vaguely points, and the bathroom is also a storage closet. Those are my favorite places.
I mean,
Can you
that's
share one?
the real stuff right there.
There's so many here in San Gabriel Valley. The one I just went to today for dim sum was called NBC Restaurant. Like NBC Seafood Restaurant. It's a dim sum place with like those push carts and the old ladies who like yell at you. So good.
Don't choose on time. Yeah.
That'd be your favorite?
That one's one of my favorite dim sum places. There's like 5 or 6 in this area, and they're all
one of your
tied.
favorite.
They're all
Okay.
amazing.
I gotta peep that actually. I do also want to ask you about your warehouse and like how you got that going and started. Like how, like how did actually that get started? Like it sounds hard to get a warehouse
know,
and
it's
then
crazy.
to get 3D printers as you did, and to also have it be like a functional thing that like that sounds really hard. How late is on this? How
Yeah, I can. I love this. This is practical advice. So I was working out of my garage and this room, actually. This is my stream room, and I was working out of here to make costumes, and I could tell my efficiency was like real down because I, limited by space, limited by a residential area. Like I don't really want to be spray painting when there's like children, on their bikes around. It's really
Breathe it in,
rude.
kids.
I also got loud tools, and also certain 3D printers, like resin printers, can be a little bit toxic, and you don't want your house like. I have cats, I don't want to mess anything up. So I kind of put it out into the universe. I told when I say put it out into the universe, I literally told every single person I know that I was looking for a warehouse, and that's how
literally
you
put it into
manifest.
the universe. Yeah.
That's how you manifest. You announce to the world constantly. You're like, man, I sure wish I had a girlfriend. Sure wish I had a girl. Sure wish I, you just say that over and over, and then eventually it just happens, right?
Taking notes.
So one day, one of my mutuals was like, "Hey, my friend says that there's a warehouse available next to him," and I'm like, "Holy shit!" And like I find he sends me a picture of it. It's like this ginormous space. It's empty, and I send it to my realtor, and my realtor doesn't even have the address. She just knows the vague vibe of where this could be, and she finds it and immediately starts brokering a deal and everything. So it's a rental, by the way. I'm not rich enough to buy myself $1 million warehouse. No, thank you.
One day.
But the rent was so good. It was $1 a square foot. Actually, it was less than $1 a square foot. So in LA, most places are anywhere from $2 to $4 a square foot for a warehouse. And I managed to find a place that was like 80 something cents per square foot. And it was like 3,500 square feet. Insane. Fucking insane.
Wow.
And it was completely raw. There were 2 bathrooms, there were 2 office rooms, but the entire space was raw, like raw ceilings, bay doors. It wasn't insulated. So I'm kind of working in like not a luxury space. I've heard of other warehouses that have like HVAC and even like a front desk situation. This was you open the bay doors and you're in it. Managed to get the place. We were like 3rd on the list of options, and they went with me. So I was so excited. This was like 2.5 to 3 years ago. Yeah, 2.5 years ago. And it's been great ever since. And a lot of the stuff that I have is thrifted or donated by friends who were like, it was actually, I got it during the pandemic. During the pandemic, there's like a lot of people who were moving out of LA, or businesses just like closing or anything. And so I was able to, in a way, take advantage of that. I know that sounds terrible.
You gotta do what you gotta do, though.
Yeah, there was like a tutoring center that was closing and they were selling a lot of their furniture plus their like school desks. And every anime fan wants to recreate a Japanese school, right?
Seems like the most fun place to be.
Yeah, so I purchased school desks from them and they were thinking, oh, we're gonna get nothing for them. And I just put in an offer. It was way too high now that I think of it. But I was going by what was available online and I was like, $50 a desk sounds about right. And they're like, yeah, that sounds great. You
Perfect,
go,
yeah.
yeah, do you want anything else? I'm like, oh shit, I should have fucking bid for like way less than
When they
that.
don't push back, right?
Yeah, whoopsies. But that was great. Got a bunch of school desks. There was another business that was like an Amazon fulfillment warehouse, and they decided to close down. So I took all of their shelves for about like at like 25% off of what it would have been new. But the shelves were beefy, and I love that. That's really good for all my 3D printers. And then another friend was moving across the country back home because he hadn't really found a job to like because he lost his job during the pandemic. So I just took all of his furniture and stored a bunch of his stuff if he ever wanted to move back. And over time, I just kept buying more and more stuff. And now the place is so full. Oh, the other cool thing is that there was a cosplay studio that was closing in Orange County. It was like a mutual of mine. So what had happened was, as it was closing, the community was like, "No, we love this place. Why are you closing?" So one of the community members was like, "What if I bought everything, and I opened up my own cosplay studio?" And so she purchased all of their stuff, like over 50 grand worth of backdrops, photo equipment, decor, props, furniture, everything. And I was like, I just like slipped in to DMs, was like, "Hey, I heard you bought the stuff. Do you want to store it at my warehouse? I have a warehouse now. You can store it there. I won't charge you rent as long as you let me use it." So yeah, I let her store it at my place, but she hasn't had a chance to like find a new studio space until just recently. So this week is the week in which she's going to move everything and move it into her new studio. But I was able to utilize a lot of it and put up the sets. I had like a Asian, like Japanese, Chinese, Korean photo set. It literally was like a mishmash of every culture. I had a demonic room, a flower garden, and then a bunch of like really cool, just like vague backdrops of like a brick wall or like an LED wall, like a hexagon wall. And then I also was able to build a gun room, like an armory in my warehouse, which was really cool. Like I wanted it to be inspired by like John Wick.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
that one's like my own photo set there. But yeah, it's been cool. And then now she's gonna take all the stuff that belongs to her, and what I'm gonna do with the warehouse now is I want to open it to another artist, because right now I share it with Danielle De Nicola, and I want to invite like another cosplayer or maker to come work in the space with us so that it's like benefiting them. There's not a lot of maker spaces here in LA, and most people just work out of their garage, and most people don't even have a garage. So I'm hoping for somebody who is like in a situation where they're like outgrowing their own home space and they need like a new creator space.
Okay. Look at you filling these needs and like making these right decisions with people, you know? Like that's super cool. It's giving me ideas. I'm like, I need to start talking to people and actually starting to put things out into the universe like this.
Yeah, with all those
Yep.
big projects too, I see that your commissions are also closed. Does that mean that you have like thousands of like things on queue or work?
So I put that on there because it was people know that I make costumes, but I've only ever really made costumes for other content creators, and so I put commissions closed on there just so people knew that like I honestly can't unless it's like a special occasion at this point.
Yes.
And baby no money, dude, he just wants things all the time. So at this point, I just whatever baby wants.
Pretty much dedicated just to him at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty cool guy
Yeah.
to be dedicated to, it sounds like.
I don't know when I'll ever open up commissions again, or if I have ever technically opened up commissions, because my schedule has just been.
I'm about to say, it's
crazy.
like your schedule is not open ever. So that's another reason I'm just happy to be able to talk with you because no way. Like I don't know like how you have the energy and time, but you know you're making it happen like in such a beautiful way that it's just, and also it's like I don't even feel like, oh, you're anywhere close to being done with the things you're planning to do, huh?
Yeah, there's a couple of costumes that have been like the person who commissioned me has been just waiting patiently. There's one person who's been waiting over a year for something, and I'm just like, bro, I just unless you give me a due date, I'm not gonna be able to like work on it. If you give me an open-ended due date, I can't. Like, I need something like solid, a solid date. So, the two costumes that I'm working on right now, they gave me solid dates, but the third costume that person's been waiting for a long time for, he hasn't given me a solid date at all. So I gotta figure it out. Gotta get it. I gotta get on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good luck to you with all that. That's intense, but no, I'm super happy for you. I mean, I can't wait to see like what's coming next because I mean, every time you post, I'm just like, oh, that was another banger.
I hope so.
You're gonna kill it. I believe in you.
Thank you.
Anyways, thank you so much for your time. Like, this was so amazing to hear your stories and like to see like where you came from with all this. Because I mean, I knew it was gonna be dope, but this blew my expectations out the water too.
Aw, yay. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are asking like questions about like practical things, like how I actually did something, because
That's
most
all
people
Louis right
don't
there.
get to see behind the curtain, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yep,
don't live
yep,
stream
I
any
mean-
of your activities?
It's hard to. I was a streamer for a little bit. Back in the day I tried streaming my builds, but it very quickly made me realize that unless you're engaging with your audience, it's really hard for them to care about what you're doing. Like I'm like heads down trying to like make something like very intricately, and you can't even tell what it is because it's still in like the beginning stages, so it's like not even that interesting, right? So I don't think I'll ever really live stream any of like the building process, just because as an audience member I wouldn't want to watch it.
I think it's interesting. I'm just gonna say that people have sleep streams, so I'm 1,000% sure that will be more interesting overall.
Oh man, I think what I would like is perhaps to have a videographer who truly believes in me and is just willing to work around my chaos. So someday it
possible,
would be
yeah.
nice if hey, I'm gonna put this out in the universe. I'm looking for a
I was about to
videographer
say,
who
like, this
believes in my
universe
chaos.
right here. Yep. I think something like that is very feasible for you. So, hey, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for your time. And I mean, I would love to have you back on later on when hopefully you get more time one of these days.
That'd be
It was
awesome.
always a pleasure to hang out and talk with you.
Yay, thanks guys. Thanks for having
Where can
me.
people find you out, by the way?
My favorite platform right now is Instagram, but you can also find me on TikTok, sometimes on Twitter, very occasionally on Twitch, and all my reels are also on YouTube. Yeah.
Fantastic, dope. And we posting your links, and also, I mean, when I make these clips, I got plenty of things I would definitely want to show off from you. So I'm hyped. This is gonna be fun to put out. Thank you so much for your time. For everyone that listened all the way, appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell us what you like. You know, if you got any cool cosplays yourself, or more. I definitely got to hear like more cosplay world stuff. This is actually making me want to get back into cosplay myself. So
Do it.
maybe this year, maybe this is the year I do it and be like, hey, what do you think about this, Stella?
It's so fun. Do
We'll
it.
save it for part 2.
Ooh, yes, yes. But yeah, thank you so much, and everyone, stay dope, y'all. Peace.